going into this, that really was what he wanted to do. He knows that he needs to have a little bit more difficulty to compete with the best in the world, but he also needs to hit. And so that's what he is trying to do here today. Pressure-filled situation, new skills. He's got to do it all.
Yeah, and they really are gigantic.
How about Yul Moldauer? Let's talk Yul Moldauer a little bit. Your thoughts after night one? He's in second, but what you expected?
Yeah, not at all. He was not as sharp as I expected. He typically, his landings are so fantastic, and he had a really bad night with that. I'm looking for him to be a lot better here at day 2.
All right, let's go to the pommel horse. We'll start there. Third in the all-around in the 2018 U.S. Championships, Alan Bauer, the 24-year-old from Arizona, finds himself all the way down in 10th overall.
You know, so there's a national championships on the line. There's making the national team. Anybody that places in the top 6 in the all-around automatically earns a berth on the national team. And then there's the selection for the World Championships. This is a good event for Allen and a place where Team USA needs some big numbers. He has always been one of the most calm gymnasts ever since he was a little kid. Really good so far. Very tricky combination right there, all the way across the horse. He wasn't great night 1, really struggled on high bar. But this is classic Alan Bauer right there. A huge routine for him on horse.
Pumped up about that, and we happen to have the most vociferous and loudest fans in the arena right behind us. So you're going to hear him all night. Eddie Penna getting set, the 29-year-old who's competing in floor and vault. So we take it to vault here on night 2.
Struggled a little bit day 1. Can do this beautifully, and actually maybe a little bit better. But you see that right shin? That is really bothering him. He had ACL surgery a while ago. And he says that there's a screw that feels like it's kind of almost poking through the skin. A lot of inflammation that they have tried to get rid of, but you see just a little bit of knees in the air.
And you know, and these mats look really soft, but for those of you that haven't done gymnastics or landed on these competition mats, they're really not that soft. So that kind of landing is a really big impact, even on a healthy body.
And most of the time in training and in the warm-ups, you're not really landing them. There's those mats out there, the bigger mats, and you're rolling. 14.45 is the number, and if you've been watching, you know the different color coding. Just give you an idea. Green is good, really good. Yellow's okay, and then red is what you want to really avoid with the 2.3 deductions or more. Yep, there they go. Get used to it. Over to Sean Melton, the 24-year-old from Orlando, who's currently in the top 10 after night 1. He's in 9th place.
You know, I have been waiting for so long for Sean Melton to put together an entire competition. He was a star standout as a junior gymnast, tremendous work ethic, but has not really been able to put it all together when it mattered most on the senior level.
You know, and he said actually one of my favorite parts of gymnastics is the adrenaline rush. He said the scare of not knowing what might happen next and then just letting your body go into autopilot and just performing.
He was in the mix for a little while in preparation for 2016 Rio, but at the last segment of the trials, he had to pull himself out of the competition. He says that this time around, this is his generation, and he is part of it.
By the way, the number for Bauer on pommel, 14.35 to open up tonight.
Like I said earlier, Sean really didn't have a great high bar routine, only 12.85 day 1. High bar is really about this stuff right here. The huge releases, really nice. Gets a lot of speed, tosses his body in the air, and that was excellent. Added a full twist on that. Nice jam right to a handstand. Good lines. Try to go right to a handstand here. That one was a little bit later than it should have been. The dismount, full twisting double layout, and way better than day one. A big hug from the Brazilian, Casimir Suarez.
After the big celebration from him in the background. So Melton, the Ohio State man, who was the Big Ten Gymnast of the Year back in 2016. Big statement to open up here.
Yeah, he loves that dog. That's Otto. I actually called Casimir Brazilian. He's Cuban. I don't know. Sorry.
Mom, hi, Dad.
Sean told me that that dog has changed his life.
Go over to rings. How about Shane Wiskus and where he's situated? Biggest surprise of night one?
I would say so. Look at this right here from 2007. And they start young. They absolutely do.
20 years of age now, so that was back in 2000. What, he was 8 years old. Here he goes on rings.
And you know, he's a very confident young man. He believes in his abilities, but I bet he had to pinch himself just a little bit. Being in that third position, tied for third, and really almost a dead heat between third and second, which is held by Yul Moldauer. Pretty good body position and holds each strength part for a full 2 seconds. Even that L, you've got to hold it. Oh boy, and that is a little bit of a deduction. Probably going to lose about 3/10 of a point on that. Just the dismount. Oh boy, and I thought he had that landing, you know? Kind of just when he reached for the ground, he had a little less tension in his hips than he needed to. He bent over, put too much gravity over the toes.
Let's get it, baby, aggressive, come on.
So it's green, 13.65 for Sean Melton on high bar.
All you, baby, all you.
As we send it over to Andrea Joyce.
All right, Terry, clearly everybody here is thinking about next year. More than 11,000 athletes are expected to compete in Tokyo, and that would make it the biggest Olympics in history. And as the games continue to grow, the size of the gymnastics teams continues to shrink. Long gone are the days of the Magnificent Seven in 1996, the women's team. And since then, the teams have been getting smaller and smaller. The last two Olympics, just 5 members on a team. We had the Fierce Five in 2012, 2016. You had the Final Five. Well, if you're going to try and come up with a name for next year's teams, you got to focus on the number 4, because for the first time ever, only 4 gymnasts on a team. Sam McCulloch is one of the guys who actually likes the change. He believes that it puts a spotlight on the all-arounders, but no matter what you think of it, one thing is certain: it's going to add a level of intensity to an already fierce competitive year, Terry.
There you go. You just came up with it. Fierce 4. Can't go with Final 4. That's taken. It doesn't make any sense. So Fierce 4. 13.6, Shane Wiskus.
It was good, but like I said, that one error on that handstand, I'm sure that hurt a little bit.
So here's the man who was the all-around champ back in 2017, but remember, Sam McCulloch did not compete in the all-around. He's coming off an injury that year. Last year it was McCulloch, and this man came in second.
He does some of the most beautiful flare work that you will ever see in gymnastics. Just gorgeous rhythm, beautiful extension. Now he'll go all the way across the horse. Put his legs back together, do some one pommel work right here. He looked just like this night one, but he really struggled on his dismount at the end. and lost just a boatload of difficulty. It's right here. Needs to fly up to that handstand. Much better than day one. And if you know Yule, you know he loves to salute.
You know, night one of competition, there were just so many mistakes from so many of the top level gymnasts. It kind of seems like a different kind of energy here in the building tonight, whether it's they have finals or what.
Just going to comment on that, and every one of these guys said, look, it is really cool to be here competing when it is crazy. It gets you up to that level, and I think tonight it's an extra step. So there's the 5-time all-around champ. Those years, by the way, the same years that Simone Biles has won her 5 titles, and we would expect to see both of them win number 6 here in Kansas City. There he goes.
He wants to be better here than he was. He was a little disappointed with himself. Had to take 2 huge steps backwards. And that was easy today. He said he got a little bit complacent. Day one on that vault, he's been able to do it. I saw him do this when he was a schoolboy at a training camp at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. He was the youngest person I've ever seen be able to do something so difficult.
And that's really how he performs it every single time. Night one of the competition, really, I don't think we haven't seen him do something like that in a while. So again, back to what we were saying, Terry, it really seems like everybody is back in place tonight.
Yep.
Nice and easy. 1 down, 10 to go.
I'm about to say 10 to go. What do you mean?
10 to go. I'm a little confused.
5 more.
Thinking as a team somehow. Who knows? The
Anyone
number from
watching
Moldau,
this right now?
14-4.
7
So I make
tenths.
plans for next year to come to St. Louis, Missouri and watch the next time we have championships and Olympic trials.
There you go.
He's doing the work
he's
for us.
promoting for us. 7 tenths higher today for Yule on pommel horse than he did day one.
There's that number right in the middle with the yellow. So not off the charts, solid. So we take you over to Akash Modi, the 2-time NCAA all-around champ, and also the man in a share of 3rd place going into night 2.
Talking with his coach, Tom Galimi, before the competition. And he's so frustrated at times with Raj. He does so much difficulty.
Raj's cousin, Bob Song.
Excuse me. Akash, but it's the knees that really kill him. He oftentimes, they look a little bit flexed, like right there. Very big dismount, full twisting double. Oh boy. And that's costly at the end because I don't know what they're gonna do with that. He took a big hop back, a couple of arm swings, and then he took not just 1 step, he took 2 more steps. And this is a Bafsar right here, invented by his cousin. And Olympic medalist actually. Full twisting double somersault. Just a handful of folks in the world do this off of parallel bars. But look at right here. See, he's struggling, and then he took 1.
Got my Turn Elite grips right here. That's what I got.
Always gives you great audio.
Little product placement.
Oh, he had that going 100% on night 1.
Yeah.
Looking for new product placement and representative.
He said the call has, he told me the call has not come in from Taco Bell. and he's actually really disappointed.
It's not over yet. You're starting out night 2.
I thought today was better. They didn't blink today. They didn't blink today.
Yeah.
14.35 on parallel bars for Akash.
Not as good as day one. He said that I thought it was better today. I don't know. I think the judges got that right there.
Yeah, you were wondering about what they would do, so you got your answer there. So this, for the men, is the night to win a national championship, and Sunday night it will be Simone Biles' turn. And the women right here in the Sprint Center Interesting opening day for Simone Biles, and I do mean that. In the end, it was impressive, but it didn't start out that way.
But it started with this, a triple twisting, double back. Of course, didn't quite make it to her feet. We saw her in training all week long just do it absolutely perfect.
And effortlessly. That was a shocker for me. I think she just met the floor too aggressively. But when you go to vault, you can really do no wrong if your name is Simone Biles. But for her, that second step backwards, I know that really got to her.
And it continued just a little bit here on the uneven bars, double twisting, double back, chest really far down. Look on her face, kind of said it all. But she had a little redemption to end the competition.
Yes, she did. 2 moves she introduced. This one, double off beam. That's ridiculous. Someone tell her that's not possible.
Oh, it is now, though.
And in just a few months, she performs this skill at the World Championships in Germany. It'll be called another Biles.
There you go.
She's already got 2, could have 4.
So there's the lead after night 1. Lee, Carey, McCusker, Wong, the top 5. A share of 5th there with Trinity Thomas. And after the performance, Simone talked to Andrea.
Spectacular finish for Simone Biles with the lead. How important, first woman ever to do that beam dismount. How important was that based on what had happened through the night?
Yeah. Tonight was pretty rough. I'm pretty disappointed with the overall, I don't know, with the overall entire meet except for beam. So it's hard ending on beam, and I think I finished pretty strong. So I guess that's the one thing I'm happy about, but we'll go into the gym tomorrow and we'll try to fix anything that we need to work on, and hopefully day 2 we can come back stronger and it'll be better.
So let's go back to the floor. There was so much anticipation for that first tumbling class and the triple double. What happened?
I just kind of overdid it, and then I don't know, it kind of just caught up to me, and I've never done that ever on that pass before, so it really shocked me. So probably
try again on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again on Sunday.
All right, last question. Tim and Nastia trying to read your mind through the entire competition. Do you want to just tell us what was going through your mind? You looked a little mad.
I don't think you want to know. It's just like I was so mad and disappointed with how I did, and you know, you have to keep the momentum going and going from each event, but it's not easy, especially when I screw up on one of my better events, and I was really excited to do that pass. So not good things were going on in here, not good things. I was very mad. I was very mad.
Never hold back, go all out. These guys are phenomenal athletes.
She'll tell you what she thinks. I love her honesty. She doesn't hold back, and mad at the beginning of the night, but a great finish to the night, and we'll look for title number 6 Sunday night here in Kansas City. So 1 rotation in there, the numbers and the standings. McCulloch, and then Yo Moldauer and Tosh Modi, who's in a share of 3rd, but Shane Wiskus now falls to 4th. 1 rotation in, 5 more to go. Top of the hour, just a few minutes. Turn it over to NBCSN. We'll continue our coverage here of night 2 for the men at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. A look at the ultimate destination, Tokyo, Japan, where the Olympics will take place just under a year from now. Taking care of business today in Kansas City, though, can bring you 1 step closer if you're one of America's top gymnasts. Inside the Sprint Center, it's day 2 for the men here at the 2019 U.S. Gymnastics Championships. And it is Sam McCulloch who leads the way, as expected. The 2-time Olympian entered as the overwhelming favorite and could be on the verge of capturing his 6th national all-around title. We welcome you to the Team USA Champion Series presented by Xfinity. Today, it's the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. All with an eye on Tokyo and who's going to make that team for the men. Women will get their turn Sunday night with Simone Biles, but it's Sam McCulloch looking for number 6. He would be the first to win 6 in the modern era. And after 1 rotation, day 2, McCulloch with the lead. Yo Moldauer, Oklahoma Sooner in 2nd. Akash Modi shared 3rd with Shane Wiskus, who's kind of the surprise at this point, but now it's Modi ahead and Trevor Howard rounding out the top 5 as we welcome you in here to Kansas City. Terry Gannon along with the Olympic champions, Nastia Lukin, Tim Daggett. Hi, guys. How are you? You ready?
Doing great.
I know Sam Mikulic's ready. He came in like Simone Biles. I'm not going to compare the two, but as the overwhelming favorite, Nastia, and that's a special kind of pressure. What do you think the mindset is for him?
Well, just to start off, a 6th national title is absolutely incredible, but really what Sam needs to do is to push himself. A 6th title isn't going to push him. This competition field here today is not going to push him. So he's actually planning on doing that here tonight. He has multiple upgrades and new skills he's unveiling here, and he told us that he wants to try them here in preparation for the World Championships and the Olympic Games.
Well, you know, he has all the U.S. titles. He's won just about everything you could possibly win on these shores. He has faltered internationally, and he's faltered not because he didn't have enough difficulty. He's faltered because he made mistakes, and that has been the rub for him. Typically, it's been high bar. It was high bar at the last World Championships that took him off the podium. If he did what he did in the event finals on high bar, if he did that in the all-around, he would have gotten 3rd over Nikita Nagorny from Russia.
Did win an individual medal at the World Championships and finally broke through and won one of those at the Worlds or the Olympics. Been to the Olympics a couple of times and leading the way for the men, the 4-man part of the team. That's the number that makes up the team now here in 2019. This man expects, certainly hopes, but expects to be there too. Yul Moldauer, the 22-year-old who was born in Seoul, adopted as an infant, grew up in Colorado, and was a star at the University of Oklahoma. And he also has been a national champ in the all-around back in 2017 when Mikulic was not competing in the all-around. Comes into night 2 in 2nd.
One of the places he struggled was pommel horse and also on still rings. Last year at this competition, he averaged about 1 full point higher in the execution score. Needs to show definite rock-steady strength parts. That one was good. I thought that judges were maybe a little too harsh. Day 1 for him. That was very nice right there. Lands exactly in the cross position. One of the judges said, we talked about your comments in the judges meeting. This is really important and actually done much better than he did day 1. Ended up lowering a little bit too far down.
But you know, Tim and Terry, we kind of have talked about it both on the women's side and the men's side. The judges have seemed awfully strict on a lot of these routines.
He's a sticking machine typically, but once again, like night 1, a little bit of hop on that. Only 1/10 of a point.
They've been strict, though. And how does that project when you look ahead to the World Championships?
Well, that's exactly how the judging is. Most of the time, even more strict on a World Championship level or the Olympic Games. So maybe it's good. Maybe it's a preparation for that.
Going to go over to high bar right now. We'll get you the number for Moldauer in a moment. But here is Akash Modi, who came in sharing 3rd place tonight. Right now, he's got 3rd place all by himself. The 24-year-old from New Jersey won a couple of NCAA all-around titles at Stanford.
And in New Jersey, he actually trained at the same club as Lori Hernandez and now Riley McCusker. He does it a different way, but Akash, look at this combination right here, very valuable. He actually has the highest level of difficulty from night 1, even more than Sam. Beautiful reverse hack. And this is a very critical routine for Akash. High bar, a place where if Team USA's got a problem, I would say that's their biggest one. Dismount, has to be patient on the landing. And it was good, you know. Once again, you know, I said this all night. I thought that he had that landing. It looked like he just kind of stood up very quickly.
Go.
But I'm not the one doing 2 flips and 2 twists in a straight body position. So.
True enough. 13.9, Yul Moldauer. So before Sam Mikulic goes On the parallel bars, it's Moldauer who will move into first for the moment. Guys, how about the colors? Just give you a little guide here.
No, absolutely. If you get green, you are doing really, really well. The yellow, which he was at, he actually did much better today than he did day one also. So 2 events in, Buell's on a roll.
So the former standout at Michigan, Sam McCulloch, will get on the parallel bars next. He got some energy in this place today. It's hopping. The Team USA Champion Series is brought to you by Xfinity. Proud partner of Team USA. Get the speed, coverage, and control you need with Xfinity X5. By Michelob Ultra. Enjoy responsibly. And by Team USA Fund. Every donation matters. Show your support for Team USA. Visit teamusafund.org to make a gift today. You've done that, right, Daggett? You already contributed. I trust you have. Akash Modi, 13.65.
Yeah, that's a lot of deductions right there. And like I said, he has, he does the highest difficulty of anybody in the competition from day one, but he gives it away with those knees and with those feet and taking a hop when he doesn't need to.
So Donnell Wittenberg, the 24-year-old from Baltimore, was really an emerging prospect, and injuries and some other things have taken him out, but he is back saying, I definitely have begun to make a case for the world team. I've got to do more, but I have begun that process.
And this is a place where he's potentially tremendous. Got a little scrappy day one on parallel bars. Big release right there, done very well. Now I'll do 2 release skills, basically back to back, right into a big front. Oh boy. Gigantic mistake right there. Don't know if he's going to repeat the element. He does. That was supposed to come right after the other release. Double front with a half. And a step backwards. It was actually looking way better than the first day of competition. Just fumbled his grip a little bit.
Nasty was talking about pacing himself too. You come back, you try to make so many things happen right away.
And that's so important to try to stay patient. He said you really don't want to rush too soon. You don't want to get too antsy. That's kind of when weird things start to happen, and it's exactly what happened right there.
It's hard though, right? I mean, you're an alternate for Rio. You want to get to Tokyo and make it happen.
And for so many of these alternates that we've seen, both on the men's side, of course, with Akash, with him, and then on the women's side, that is, for some of them, the sole reason that they are still out there on the competition floor.
So here is that first release skill. Let's look at his hands. They're fine there, but you see him kind of fumbling that right hand right as it's going down to the bar. He was supposed to go right into another really big release. Dismount was good, but not as sweet as night one.
Saw Sam McCulloch as the cheerleader in the background there for a moment. And the guys certainly do support each other. You see it happen on the women's side too, but we've talked about it. The men, most of them have gone to college. They've been a part of a team like that.
And when you're at that collegiate level, and if you haven't watched on TV, the college meets, there's so much more energy from those teammates on the competition floor, and that's what they're used to, and they have grown to love. And for a lot of them, it helps them actually relax and be more confident, as opposed to, dead silence sometimes.
A lot of yelling.
12.7. Well, these athletes too are part of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Training Center too, so they're together out there in the same group. But that's a low number in the 8th overall for Wittenberg right now. So here is Sam McCulloch. He's greeted by this crowd.
And this was the best routine of day one. Sam, he had so many fourths, he said, at the World Championships. So sick of it. One of them was here, adding this new skill. It's called a Makutsu. Deals with it very well. Little bit of elbow bend. But he said, I was so sick and tired of fourth as a team. Fourth on pommel horse and fourth here. This is also a great combination right here. Watch this. And to the end of the bars. And he'll show a Bopsar right here. Gorgeous. Just flies, floats above the bars. It's a big deal for Sam. Unveiling a new skill. And going start to finish with no major break.
And that excitement just built from the start to the finish here with the crowd, too.
But, you know, as I talked about earlier, this for him is not about winning that 6th national title. He said that, I think I've got enough of a lead right now to feel comfortable to put those upgrades in today and to try to make a little bit more of a world's preparation competition for me, as opposed to adding another title.
I was a worker, that was for sure.
So just some really beautiful gymnastics. Like I said, nice underbar work right there. Big release right here. And then he just keeps it going. A lot of guys will do this and they go into a minor element. He transitions to the end of the bars. And then this is fabulous. Named after Raj Bopsar. Gorgeous from one end of the bar to the other. Transitioning right back to the middle of the bars. Has a great line, good toes, fantastic knees. And Gymnastics 101, fly high and stick the landing.
Less than 20 minutes in. We got one already.
Put a check by it.
Come on, get after it, kid.
So you mentioned that element, Raj Bopsar, part of that Olympic bronze medal in the team 2008. But wouldn't they love to get back to that point? They haven't been able to do that the last couple of times around.
And you know, Raj got to go to the Olympics in 2008. He was the alternate in 2004 and actually was named the alternate again in 2008. Injuries opened up a spot and he stepped through, left through actually.
Well, the night one score was the highest across all events, the only 15 plus that we saw. Got 15.2 from Kulik.
And this is what's ironic. So he added in a major skill that gives him more difficulty, but the score went down. And so that it's always a risk reward.
I know. What's the moral of the story, though, right? What do you take away from that?
No, he's got to do the stuff now.
I understand, but looking ahead. Jonathan Bailey now, next on parallel bars.
He wasn't great night one. The same skill that Sam just added, we just saw him do too. Little bit of a balance check, but he does everything on P-bars. Really nice. So hard to add that half turn. Nice release right here. Oh boy. And a whole bucket full of deductions right there. Dismount, same one. Half turn, big hop forward. That's unfortunate. He's, you know, tremendous there, but opened the door.
Man from Southern California moved north to compete for Cal last year. Was second in the parallel bars and on high bar at the U.S. Championships. Not competing in the all-around this time around. Didn't do rings or vault. So with the mistakes, the deductions will get that number, and it's Mikulik who rolls on here, day two, trying to win his 6th U.S. all-around title.
Yul Moldauer in the hunt for second position at this point. NCAA champion a bunch of times. And speaking of NCAA champions, right here in Kansas City, we have the college basketball experience and Hall of Fame Our own Terry Gannon played at NC State under the great Jimmy V, winning the 1983 NCAA title in one of the greatest Cinderella stories of all time in college basketball.
At
what do you think?
Gymnastics National Championship, we get a mention. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Had the name on the wall at least. That's all right. Pretty good. Many moons. About the same time you did, as a matter of fact.
You're thrown off, aren't you? We're proud of you, Terry.
Thank you, Nasty. I appreciate that for the mention. Take it to break. You brought it back. Go right ahead.
We'll be right back in Kansas City.
Back to remind you, music's biggest stars create #1 songs on Songland. And on Wednesday, it's the start of an all-new episode. Macklemore looks for his newest hit, Songland, comes your way on NBC. The rings await. That man rests, but he is in first place, comfortably, as a matter of fact, and that lead increasing over Yul Moldauer and Akash Modi. Wiskus right there, though. Look at how close he is. The surprise so far here in Kansas City, and Trevor Howard rounding out the top 5, the 26-year-old from Columbus. Ohio native, went to Penn State, but back in Columbus now training. Still rings champ back in 2018, last year.
And boy, he was having, he had the meat of his life, but the last event in day 1 was Pommel Horse, and this is a place where Trevor and the Pommel Horse don't really get along that well. Doesn't have the highest difficulty, gonna try to stay really clean. Has a hard time getting behind his back for one pommel skills. Very bulky. But I'll tell you what, he really swung well in day 1 for him. And so far right here, also doing a good job. Just the dismount, up to the handstand. That's the easy part for him. He's not going to win any medals on Pommel Horse, but that keeps him in the fight. One of the important things to note is if you finish top 6 here at these national championships over 2 days, you have a guaranteed national team spot. You get funding, a little bit more taken care of.
And all of this a part of that selection process for the Olympics. You got the World Championships, selection camp, and all of that, but this matters.
It really does matter because the Olympic team won't just be determined at the Olympic trials just on that one competition. It's all a lead up.
Over to vault, Yul Moldauer, the man in second.
He'll do the same vault that we've seen many do. 2.5 twist, little bit of a hop forward on the landing, but exceptionally clean. Really great legs together, knees straight.
And that's really what he's known for throughout all 6 of the events. And I feel like with so much focus on the strength and power in a lot of the events, we sometimes lose sight of the artistry in men's gymnastics. We talk a lot about it on the women's side, but that's really what sets him apart from the other competitors.
So let's watch from the board to the table. Just a slight separation, only 1/10 of a point from the board to the table. Good and square on the landing, and that's close. You know, if it's more than shoulder width apart, a hop is 3/10 of a point. Less, it's only 1/10.
Nasty, it's a long season, too. We think about the national championships and the worlds, but this is the man who won the American Cup back in March, and he beat Sam McCulloch, barely, but he beat the 5-time champ.
He did, and that's what he said after night 1. He said everyone wants to beat him. He's the top dog in the U.S., and everyone's trying to get to his level. He said he's been in multiple Olympics, so you have to give him some credit and just kind of follow in his steps.
Well, 3 events in, Yul Moldauer has increased his score from day 1 on each and every event.
And the number for Trevor Howard, 12-5.
And it might be yellow, but for him, that should be green, green, green. That was awesome. Same score he got night 1.
In the second right now behind Moldauer overall. But Akash Modi here in third after the second rotation. 6 rotations on the date. So on floor is the 24-year-old.
Very nice, very difficult to do that double front and keep your legs straight. He has told me in the past, I've really gotta get a little bit better at the landings. That one was good. Has a lot of titles himself. 2 times he was an NCAA all-around champ and twice a runner-up. You see his knees, they are not completely locked. Spoke with his coach, Tom Galimi, before the competition, and he says, we're working on it really hard, and he can do it better than he did day one. I don't know what the report I'll get after this one. There you go, though. Nice stick right there. Ever important dismount, triple full. Oh, golly. And once again, like I said, on high bar, it looked like he had a stick. I don't know.
Sometimes it's just trying to be a little bit more patient with those landings.
See if we can let Akash take us to break, because he always talks his way all the way through the whole crowd.
Halfway done.
That's all you got? It was your moment, Akash. Back in a moment. Back in Kansas City, Donnell Wittenberg ready to go. High bar, 9th place after the second rotation. Take you back to the opening day and what took place.
Yeah, his hand just pings off the bar, and I don't quite get it. There's really no downward force at that point in time. Sometimes you're just thinking about the next move and you're not focusing on squeezing those grips, and the bar just pops out of your hand. That could have turned out a lot worse than it did, though.
But he needs to put that behind him and focus on a clean routine here.
Yeah, and he's got to put behind his parallel bar routine that he just did. Scored a 12-7 today, 14-0 in the prelims. There's his first release skill. Very nicely done. It's great to catch far away from the bar. Handstand position right there, maybe a little better than he did day one. Another release right here. And that was definitely better. And no hand off the bar. Dismount right here. Double laid out, and a great fight for the landing. Way better than day one. I don't know if I'd want to slap his hand after he's pumped up like it might take your arm off. Jeez.
There has been some intensity there. Well, it's time to make up some ground, because he was losing ground tonight. Came in 7th and down in 9th place. That may have done it, at least a step in that direction.
Yes, it absolutely was. He's got some big routines up and coming, though. So right here, very nice release skill, a lot of flight, and he gets over the bar easier on this right here. He's able to connect it right into another release. What I like about this routine much better also is everything was far away from the bar, floaty. Dismount, it's a twisting double layout, one piece of air. A lot to get done. And right there, I won't say it, guys.
But we know what you're thinking. I can't say it. It's
no, we can't say it.
Gymnastics 101. Fly high and stick the landing.
He couldn't resist, could he? Back to Akash Modi on floor 13.85.
And you see those deductions. So as I kind of mentioned with Yul Moldauer, that is where the complete opposite. His execution scores are so great, and that's really where Akash struggles. So many deductions, Tim, as you mentioned, just the knees constantly, not completely bent, but just soft.
You said the number in the deductions a moment ago. So in the 6th place for the moment goes Wittenberg, but we got more to go in this rotation, including this man right here, Sam McCooley.
And this is another place where he plans on doing a ton of upgrades. He's doing a major skill. It's called, somebody that's sitting next to me, it's called a Lucan. It's a reverse hecht with a full twist, but he first is going to do 2 major releases as well.
It's your dad, not
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Right here, first big release, gorgeous, great body form when he catches the bar. Watch, as he catches, and a good fight right there. Here it is. Full twisting, reverse hecht, beautiful. And he wants to connect these two. Did not, day one, that one. Oh boy, has to bend those arms. He'll lose a handful of points for that.
Little short on that that one as well.
Same dismount we just saw from Wittenberg. A little bit of a hop. And I'll tell you what I really, really like about that routine was right before the new element, he was a little bit off. Had to kind of force that giant around over the bar. Didn't keep that negative thought in his head. Got fresh, focused exactly in the moment, and rocked it. Did it great.
But Terry, as you mentioned, you know, on the P-bars, he went for the harder routine, had a lower score, and quite possibly might happen here as well on the high bar because of the little mistakes. But that's what it's about, trying to figure out and try those routines here at a national championships when he's going for his 6th title.
Just a quick update, they actually raised his parallel bar score by 1/10, so still not as good as night one.
But you feel at this point in your career like you don't have a choice. You need to make those upgrades because you're focused on that next level.
You are, because it's not about winning another national title. It's about now winning a world or Olympic all-around medal. Here's that skill, the Lucan, of course, to clarify, I could never do this. My dad did this for the first time.
Yeah, you could do a lot of things, though, Nastia, that's for sure. And this is something that he did, which he couldn't pull off night one. He connects these 2 major releases a little close to the bar, and because of that, you see those arms? If they do it right, that's a 5/10 deduction. It's just like bending your knees when you're not supposed to. Let's look for the handstand. A little bit shy. Going to be at least a 10th, but it could be up to 3 on that as well. There is the dismount right here. He's exhausted. This is one of the greatest high bar routines in the world. So much variety, so much difficulty.
You see the look on the faces of those young kids in the front row? The awe.
Yeah, he's their idol, that's for sure. So often has been so close to greatness and just kind of fell short.
The deductions, though, and they're so 14-5.
Well, and that's exactly what you talk about. Look at that max score, 16.5. That's huge.
Jonathan Bailey now. And I should mention, I always bring up the Olympics, but I got a couple of U.S. all-around champs sitting next to me here, too. We're at the Nationals.
Jonathan is not doing the all-around competition. Has a very bad shoulder. I don't know if we'll ever see him do rings again. And, oh, boy. And it's very odd that he does that release combination in that order. Most people would flip-flop it. He does the easier one here. Very, very nice, but just a little bit too far from the bar. And it looks like he could have held on, right? In gymnastics, he's got these grips, but he has this little dowel at the top of the grip. And if that dowel doesn't get around the bar, it's nearly impossible to hold on. Repeating it, and that one was fingertips as well. He was 4th in the all-around last year. A great pommel horse guy. I believe he would have probably gotten a spot on the world team, had to take himself out of contention. Went under the knife and fighting his way back. And he's a beautiful gymnast, there's no question about it.
Yeah, he was second on both of these events. High bar, parallel bars last year at the national championships, focusing on those, but problems midway through, obviously. So
It was such a good hang. I was right on the money.
you know each other's routines too very well. You're around each other every day. Back in a moment here in Kansas City. You can download the Team USA app for up-to-the-minute news and exclusive behind-the-scenes coverage of your favorite athletes on the road to Tokyo. Visit the Google Play Store and iTunes to download the Team USA app today. Sam Mikulik taking a break right now, but leading and extending that lead. Look at Shane Wiskus moving up into second place ahead of Yul Moldo.
Yeah, he just had a huge rotation on parallel bars.
Trying to make a statement to maybe be a part of that Olympic team in Tokyo, and all of these guys trying to, especially that man, trying to lead a bit of a turnaround for the men, because lately at the Olympics for the men, unlike the women, they haven't been able to make it to that podium. The last couple of times, 5th in London, 5th in Rio, but that bronze back in 2008, and the man leading the way, the high performance director, the coach, if you will, Brett McClure, was a part of a bronze medal in the team event, and he has joined Andrea right now.
Well, Terry, Brett has been on the job for about 2.5 years, and he came in with a very sophisticated analytic system, kind of designed to keep the athletes accountable for their training and everything. How is it working, and how much progress do you think you've made?
It's working really, really well. I'm able to track all of their scores over the last 2.5 years and basically tell you, if it was a great routine, this is what they're going to score. If it was a good routine, this is exactly what they're going to score. And now I'm able to do that for all the teams around the world, so we know exactly what we're competing against.
So we were just reminding the folks at home a couple of seconds ago that the U.S. men's team has come in 5th the last 2 Olympics, but in 2012 they won qualifying. In 2016 they came in 2nd. In your opinion, what happened to the team between qualifying and finals?
You know, they tightened up. When it went into finals, 3 up, 3 count is, it's very serious. You know, you have to go out there and attack, and I think they let the nerves get the best of them on the first event, you know, just in the last Olympic Games, and it's hard to recover from. Now, you know, we're preparing to go out there with a fight and a determination that nothing is going to take this away from us. And I think that was, you know, something the 04 team did very, very well, was just that grit, and it was not going to be taken away from us. Just attack the equipment, and so that's what we're trying to do with this group.
Well, talk about that a little bit, because you did win that medal in 2004, and you know you had Paul Hamm, but other than that, though, how do you develop that in that team next year?
You just have to have that same attitude, is you're not coming off the equipment every day in practice. You have to do it consistently, whether it's a basic inner squad or it's a national championships like today. You put that same pressure on every single turn and make sure that you do it and you accomplish that. And you take that to the floor in the Olympic Games and it can be done.
Maybe you need to show some video when you get there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Terry?
Andrea, it's all about analytics these days, right? Doesn't matter the sport, even in gymnastics now. Your thoughts, guys, on what they need to do and if they can take that step to turn this around?
Well, first of all, I think what Brett McClure just said is exactly on point. They need to feel a burn if they miss in practice ever. They got to hold themselves accountable, not just when they walk out on the floor. They need to practice every situation. I know he's trying very, very hard to do that. The problem is this team, I don't believe they will have the same level of talent that we saw at the last 2 Olympic Games. They knew they could win a medal before, though. They could have. Maybe being an underdog will help.
And Sam Mikulik has said that, but it's 4 members now.
Exactly, but that's what we've been talking about at these national championships. It's not about another national title. Absolutely, that's on the line. The national team is on the line, but it really is treating this competition as if it was the World Championship team finals or the Olympic Games. And Yul Moldauer even said they've been inspired watching the U.S. women. He said they're just so good. The guys' team wants to be the women's team. We want to be just as successful as them.
He did. He said that yesterday before this second day of competition for the men. We'll see. And harder to make the team, but down to 4. And Sam Mikulik certainly the leader of that, and the leader here looking for his 6th national all-around. Team USA Champion Series is brought to you by Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA. Get the speed, coverage, and control you need with Xfinity XSpy. And by TeamUSAShop.com, where every purchase helps support your Team USA athletes. Second time that the Nationals have been held here in Kansas City. A long time ago, though, the late 80s. And the first time in the Sprint Center, relatively new building. All right, 3rd place after 3 rotations. So he's dropped the spot, and we'll follow Yul Moldauer on parallel bars now.
But he's spectacular here and can certainly get it back. Beautiful look, clean lines, full spin on one arm. It's called a Healy, done very well. Now he'll drop under the bars. Do another one with an extra half turn. Don't want to move those hands, take any extra hand placements. Watch this, full spin on one from a giant swing. Nice skill right here. Kind of had a little bit of bent knees in the air on that, but pretty far at the end of the bars here for this dismount. Right over the uprights. That's hard to do. And harder to do is to stick it when you're in that spot.
But those are the landings that we are used to seeing Yul Moldauer do on every single event, every time.
I'll tell you, I was very impressed with that. I mean, he was completely on top of the uprights. So what that means is the wooden rails, they have a lot of give, and it makes it easier. There's no give at all when you're right over the top. He dealt with that well.
Over to pommel horse and Akash Modi, who finds himself in 4th place.
Really wants a big routine here because this is another one of those places where Team USA needs some big scores. Nice spindle work. Day 1, I thought his knees were not so great, a little bit soft and loose. Could really see it when he was on one pommel. I would say today is better. Traveling from one end of the horse to the other and then back again. Just the dismount right up to the handstand. Pretty darn good.
Right.
Good job, buddy.
Solid, rock solid. Really clean. Good job.
It was. There's his coach. I spoke with him, Tom Galimi, before the event began. And he was disappointed with the form.
I just always like to listen. It's like Jordan Spieth in golf. He always give you the commentary after the swing, and Akash is kind of like that. Over to Donnell Wittenberg, still in 9th after 3 rotations.
Yeah, but he's got some good ones coming up. This is potentially very good for him. He's not bad on pommel horse, and he is really, really strong, as you can see. So rings is a big one for him. There you go. Very intricate. First tumbling run combination. Do another one right here. Great landings. Double in a stretch position, just a small little hop. Little bit of a hop on that, and that's a perfect example. He got 1/10 more difficulty than doing just a double full, but he gave it away on the hop. So it's kind of a wash. Now he typically has competed a 6-pass routine. Only did 5 in day one, and it looks like he's only going to do 5 again here. Finish with the same dismount Simone Biles does. Double twisting, double somersault. Pretty good. Very, very clean. Better landings, I would say, than he did the first day.
Extremely difficult, and that's exactly what he says. He knows, I know for a fact that with my high start value, they're going to need some firepower for this team, and I know that I can be that person to help them in that situation.
Doesn't want to give them any reason to doubt him and ask questions. That's the thing. You come in and you do have to prove yourself again after an injury. He's about 80% now. Headband back on. Some of the events, the apparatus, he actually wears it.
Yeah. I asked him, so he told us 80%. I said, so when were you 100? He said probably 2015. Really nice right there. Combination. Does the double front and adds that half turn at the end. Simone Biles will dismount with this Sunday night. Double twisting, double somersault. Very well done right there. Little hop forward on the landing, but I would say significantly better than he did night one, which was a 13.6.
You see Mikulik getting set in the background. Moldauer for bars, 14.6.
Let's go, Lynn!
So he goes into first place for the moment, but the other top names still to come here in this rotation. And Akash, 1.9 the deduction, 13.9 into second place behind Moldau.
Score is a carbon copy, for those that remember it, of night one for Akash.
What do you think of the number for Wittenberg?
That's pretty darn good. A lot better, like I said, than he did in the first day of competition. I don't know, he's shaking his head though. I think maybe he's a little bit upset, thinks that he had less deductions than that.
Sam fans in the background. First place, obviously, after 3 rotations, better than anybody on day one on floor, along with the parallel bars and the high bar. See what he's got in store here, day 2.
Do a double front somersault, legs straight. Really nice landing. And this is so hard. 2.5 twist and pulls around a double flip. I have seen him make that when it was inhuman, that it could be done. See that patience right there on that landing. You know, he has a knack. He's natural at landings, but he does the right things. Keeps tension throughout his body as he's meeting the floor. Doesn't lock out, but he also waits for it. Another very patient and stuck landing. Had a very big score, 14.65, night one. Triple full. He could do this better than he did night one. Little bit of a hop back, but I would say just as good as he did day one.
And that's definitely going to extend his lead. And he was really open in saying he wishes that there were a lot more people on his heels. He said he knows all these guys. I know what's going on behind the scenes.
But this is one routine he didn't have to upgrade because he's already pretty darn good. 2.5 twists right into this double front.
And take a look at this dismount. So extremely difficult routine and even harder to end with such a difficult pass. 3 twists in the air. You see his legs are glued together and just a slight hop back.
You know, I actually never thought I'd see him do that dismount again. 2017, tore his Achilles tendon on the takeoff at the Winter Cup.
Over to rings. There we go. Trevor Howard underway.
And this is quite possibly his biggest event of the night. The USA needs another strong ring performer, and he has the ability to deliver. Has competed in 2 World Cups this year and ended up 9th both times. 8 advanced to finals. It's a little bit heartbreaking for him. Very nice position. You see him open his hands up. If your wrists are on the rings, you're shortening that arm. Another one right there, and look at the open hands. It's called a false grip, and the judges deduct for that. Little bit of a fight in the handstand. His dismount, double-double, hop backwards, very good.
So we will see what the number is for him, but also for Sam McCooley. There you go, we got it, 14.65, and he now leads by over 4 points here, looking for title number 6.
There you go. Give the flow, come on.
He's had big nights in the Big Ten, NCAA, but this could be the night at this level for Shane Wiskus. You saw where he was after the 3rd rotation. He is making a statement here in Kansas City.
And after night 1 of the competition, to find yourself tied for 3rd place at the national championships, not sure he ever thought it would happen so soon in his career.
But 2nd right now. He's got a lot to get through here. Some big releases. Very risky, and oh my God, caught with one arm. That was not intentional. Able to hold on, do another one right here. He gets that 2nd hand on the bar so late. Another release over the bar. Wow. Scored only a 13.4. Day 1 on high bar. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. They're certainly gonna grab a bunch of tenths for just looking a little bit crazy on it. It's not a deduction to do it, but that right there is a deduction. Landing with bent arms in the handstand. Double-double laid out. Small step on the landing. Very good, but not great. But absolutely amazing that he was able to stay on the bar.
Nastya, might not have been intentional, but it was spectacular.
It was, I think, as a fan of the sport and every other person in this arena.
And I just saw him smack his forearm on the bar, because I'll tell you what, the forces that he has, he just doesn't get that 2nd arm around at all. Look at that. And he is able to do this. Believe me, folks, that was not intentional. When you have these forces and you're on one arm, it's like you can cramp up that forearm so badly. He'll have to be cautious about that.
But how do you judge that? Because he just kept going.
Well, technically, yeah, it's not a fall. He didn't come off of the bar. If I was a judge, I would get bonus points for that, because you don't even know how difficult that is.
Yeah, no, they're not going to give him extra tenths for that, but
no, we're
amazing.
Joking.
Yeah, I know.
14-7 for Howard. He's hanging in there, 4th overall, but it's going to be interesting what Wiskus gets. Riley Lewis in 10th place after the 3rd rotation. So you think about what, he's 18 years old, and from El Dorado Hills, California, he was in 6th after day 1. I mean, another man who's starting to make a name for himself.
Absolutely, and that, remember, that's 6th place in the all-around. If he was able to maintain that, he would have an automatic berth on the senior national team. Very composed athlete. Can deal with the pressure well. Maybe could be a little bit more open with his hips, but overall, very good. Dismount right up to the handstand. He does that so well.
Incoming freshman at Stanford, so in many ways, just getting a career started.
Yeah, and of course, Stanford won the NCAAs this year, defeating Oklahoma. See a little bit of bend in his hips. You see that right there? The judges are looking for that, but even when he's off, it's amazing. He just rockets right up to that handstand. Should be no deductions there at all. He's a cool character.
Third in the all-around at the qualifier, the national qualifier, which you're not in the world team and a couple other ways. You have to go that route to try to qualify for this, but also is on the junior level and won the pommel horse and finished second in the all-around last year at the U.S. Championships. But this is a major step up and hanging in. So a nod from the 18-year-old.
Yeah, not bad. He was enamored that the cameras were on him, I think. Pretty psyched about that.
Oh, wow. There you go.
We're not sure what they're going to do. Mike's already on it.
12.95, but so he's into third overall. Just checking the computer, tied with Akash Modi for the moment. So quite a race right behind Sam Mikulik. I mean, Mikulik with a lead of over 4, but one more look as we take you to break.
One arm, no problem.
I meant to do that. Hopefully you're aware, next summer the world's best athletes coming together to compete on the world's biggest stage. The Olympic Games return live from Tokyo on the networks of NBC. And guys, they're building our home as we speak. Ariake Gymnastics Center going to be complete in October. Looks beautiful. It's all recyclable material, as a matter of fact, and they'll eventually deconstruct that in 2030.
Looks like it'll be fun.
Did it suit you? I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, Simone Biles will be there leading the way. Night one, a range of emotions, looking for history to open up on floor.
Triple twisting double back. No female gymnast in the world has done it. She is going to try again Sunday. The look on her face really kind of said it all there on that bar dismount, but it was truly redemption for her.
Right here, double-double, first woman to compete this. If she does it at the World Championships in October, she'll have another move called the Biles. If she puts the triple-double to her feet, that'll be 4 skills. That's crazy.
Best for last on night one, and look at the lead, looking ahead to Sunday night. Lee and Carey running out the top 3. And after that effort, she talked to Andrea Joyce.
Spectacular finish for Simone Biles with the lead. How important, first woman ever to do that beam dismount. How important was that based on what had happened through the night?
Yeah. Tonight was pretty rough. I'm pretty disappointed with the overall, I don't know, with the overall entire meet except for beam. So it's hard ending on beam, and I think I finished pretty strong. So I guess that's the one thing I'm happy about, but we'll go into the gym tomorrow and we'll try to fix anything that we need to work on, and hopefully day 2 we can come back stronger and it'll be better.
So let's go back to the floor. There was so much anticipation for that first tumbling class in the triple-double. What happened?
I just kind of overdid it, and then, I don't know, it kind of just caught up to me, and I've never done that ever on that pass before, so it really shocked me. So probably
try again on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to try again on Sunday.
All right, last question. Tim and Nastia trying to read your mind through the entire competition. Do you want to just tell us what was going through your mind? You looked a little mad.
I don't think you want to know. It's just like I was so mad and disappointed with how I did, and you know, you have to keep the momentum going and going from each event, but it's not easy, especially when I screw up on one of my better events, and I was really excited to do that pass. So not good things were going on in here, not good things. I was very mad. I was very mad.
All right, so Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. You were reading her mind then. Read her mind now. Usually, if it's an angry Simone Biles, it's a determined Simone Biles, and look out for the rest of the group.
Well, and that's exactly what she showed. The way she ended the competition. I mean, a double-double off the beam. Yeah. It's mind-blowing, and we watched her do it in training. And I think if you would have asked me 10 years ago if anybody would be able to perform that skill on the balance beam, I'm not sure I would have believed you, but it's Simone Biles. Of course she can.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, and you know, she won by 1.75 with all of those errors. The scary part, this is the U.S. National Championships. She would most likely win with that competition at Worlds in Stuttgart. I think she'll be way better, but that's how good Simone Biles is.
Well, you said that it was, if not the worst that you've seen her, one of the worst. And that, look, it's all relative. It's Simone Biles. So still was that much better than the rest of the field and takes that lead, looking for his 6th national title Sunday night. He's gotten close behind Mikulik, but Sam with that lead of more than 4 points after 4 rotations for the men. Wittenberg, Pommel Horse back here in Kansas City. Terry Gannon, Nastia Lukin, Tim Daggett, and Andrea Joyce. Night 2 for the men. Wittenberg in 9th place after the 4th rotation. Just want to tell you one change. Judges went back and they raised the score. Shane Wiskus 0.2 points, puts him in 3rd place alone.
And so the only way they can do that is if the difficulty score was wrong. They can't say we were too harsh on that one-arm grab. Donnell says he has to really keep himself focused and stress-free by going into his own container, especially on this event. It's amazing with his body type. He's actually very capable here. Dismount, little bit off. And a struggle at the end. Before that, I would have said definitely better than night 1, which ended up at a 12.8. But that dismount right there, I think maybe 3 and 3. So a total of 6/10 off, maybe. It's got to fly up to the handstand. He'll do a 1 pommel circle and just not be forward enough as his hand is reaching down on the horse. Definitely has a pause, hesitation, and then the form was a little bizarre as well.
But you've got to be exhausted by the end of that routine just to have the fight to straighten that up.
I would assume so. I mean, that's probably a better question for Tim, but
Sam, you know what to do,
the pommel horse is one of those events that it is constant. You don't get a single break, whether it's the balance beam or really for all of the apparatus on the men's side. It is constantly going.
So top 5 after 4 rotations for this man, Trevor Howard. Here on vault.
Really, he has done just about as well as he can do on every event, day 1 and day 2. And a very nice vault, clean, but a huge hop on that landing. Doesn't matter how big it is, though. The most they can take is 3/10 for that, which they will. He has moved back home, was a Penn State gymnast. Says it's great to be at home, get to sleep in my own bed. Mom makes meals.
12-6 for Donnell.
And that's disappointing for him. 12-8 in the first day of competition. And once again, it's one of those events that Team USA really needs a 3rd score. They get a big one from Sam Mikulik and also potentially Yul Moldauer. They're looking for that 3rd score for the world team in Stuttgart come October.
Sam had the 2nd best mark number in pommel horse on night 1.
His first element in circles right here, very difficult, up to the handstand and then comes back down, and that was gorgeous. So hard to keep a good rhythm on that. He does a tremendous job of it. Nice straight body. Look at how extended he is. Another travel across the horse, just up to the handstand, and another spectacular routine with an extra pirouette in for Sam, the man, Mikulik.
Woo! There we go. Thanks, boys. I'm just pumping, baby.
I saw you.
I feel stupid now. I feel stupid.
Let's do something. So he just doesn't just completely miss his view.
Yeah, right? Crumble.
Like, all right, then that was funny.
Sam, you only did a dismount.
Oh my God. No wonder it's so much energy.
Look at how extended his body is. And then this is so hard to keep this moving and have a good rhythm. He does this, I think, better than anybody in the world right now. And he does it consistently, and that is the kind of a skill that you can do well in practice a lot of the time, but you see athletes that decide to do it in a competition, and boy, does it ever get tight, and lots of times they come right off the pommel horse.
Nastia, he said he was surprised at how relaxed he was on night one. It felt like practice.
And that's exactly the kind of competition that you want. You want to be able to go into a meet feeling so confident, your training's being so consistent that you don't even question yourself.
Dude, thank you, man. That was fun out there. One more. Let's go, DB. Come on, kid. Let's attack it now. Let's go, DB.
As he was coming off, his arm was out to the side, and then he pounded his chest before he hit the ground. Pretty cool.
Let's get it now. Attaboy,
certainly very, he's got to be extremely happy.
Howard's score on vault, just over 14.
And that can be better, and usually is for him.
Okay, over the floor. We'll see what Shane Wiskus can do here now, holding on to that third place after 4 rotations.
That was amazing, you know, going back to what he did on high bar and finding the will, finding a way to not come off that bar. Took a hit with the score because of execution. Remember, they raised it by 0.2 of a point.
But it builds. He's got to be in that mindset now where you realize what position you're in and what's at stake and how big this could be.
Double front half out, very nice. Double. Kicks out of that. Maybe a little bit too early, has to slide forward for a 3/10 hop. There you go, that's what he's looking for. Had a 14.25 day one. See how they click their heels together? Believe it or not, that's a rule. If he were to just transition into another pass without doing that, he would be deducted. Japanese handstand and then another press. You got to do one element like that on floor exercise, a non-acrobatic skill. You're allowed to do 2. He was good day one. This is also really, really good. Oh! Wow! He is not withering.
Brad, that was fast. Good job. Great job. Good job. Grab some drinks.
Go, Keith.
Second in the all-around, the last 2 NCAA championships, and a star in the making right now at this level.
Well, absolutely, but he said even if it doesn't happen in 2020, I've had a great time in the sport, and I'm not planning to finish after that. I'm going to try another 4 years. So we are going to see where this takes me. And so far, this is taking him to a pretty good position.
Yeah, he is definitely in contention for that world team, certainly the national team. Double. Look at, he opens his body, takes that hop forward. Maybe not. I think they'll still take 0.3 of a point. So this is a requirement in gymnastics on the men's side. You can land with your feet a little bit apart, but they have to be able to come together so that your heels touch or you get a deduction. And this, wow. Triple full at the end, lots of pressure here. He does not succumb. Big routine for Shane Wiskus.
He's got that whiteboard in his bedroom and the counting down to the days from Tokyo Olympics, and it says days until my dreams come true. And it might be even closer than he thought when he put the whiteboard up.
Yeah.
Andrea, what do you have?
Well, you know, Shane might be a little bit of an exception along with Yul Moldauer, because a lot of athletes the year leading up to the Olympics shy away from this subject. They don't want to talk about it. Yul has told me more than once over the last couple of years that he thinks about the Olympics every single minute of every single day, constantly questioning himself to make sure he's doing exactly what he needs to do to get to Tokyo. Here's the proof. He recently took his handwritten list of goals for the season, moved it from his locker to his bathroom mirror, and that's so that he could see it first thing in the morning and last thing at night. You can see he's already accomplished some of those things, like winning the American Cup this season, but he told me he doesn't check them off because he'd much rather focus, Terry, on the work that still has to be done.
That's great, though. He moved it exactly where you see the first thing in the morning that he sees.
And the last that he sees at night, too.
So in second place, heading into this 5th of 6 rotations.
And, you know, he really has struggled this year. At the NCAA championships, he injured his elbow, had to take 3 weeks completely out of the gym, and then another 4 weeks where he was being so careful, had a lot of inflammation. They did a procedure called PRP on him to help bring down the inflammation. If it didn't work, surgery was the next course. He's very happy he got away from that. Looking for handstands, and that was not even close. Saw him do that in warm-up so well. That one's a little better. His big release right here. Kovacs over the bar, close to the bar. Once again, the judges, they're brutal. It's the rules. And he bent his elbows 90 degrees. Should be a half of a point deduction on that. His dismount, very easy for him. Full twisting double layout.
Actually capable to add 2 more full twists, triple twisting double in a laid out position.
I saw him do it when he was a sophomore in high school, a triple twisting double layout off high bar.
Guys, it's so tight. And that was a race for 3rd, but now it's for 2nd where he's been. But he'll need 12.9 to move back into 2nd ahead of Wiskus.
13.55 was what he scored day 1, but it was much better then. Look at it, he's just way too close to the bar. He's so close, he doesn't have enough momentum to swing all the way over the bars. Look at the elbows, a complete bend of them. His dismount, as we mentioned, a full twisting double layout. Does it extremely well, capable of more, but racks that landing. Don't fib.
No, it's not going to be enough. 12.6, guys, so he's going to drop 0.3 points behind Shane Wiskus. So Moldar needs a big effort in the last rotation. But for this man, a good night just got great.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Man. All right, Akash Modi now in 4th after 4 rotations. Over on rings. He had a share of 3rd to start this night.
So really, the most critical things that the judges are looking for are exact strength parts. I would say that's 1/10 of a point high. You got to hold them for 2 seconds. That was excellent. If you are any part under 2 seconds, right there, that's a little bit low. He's not lying extremely flat. He'll lose something for that. Right to it. The iron cross, a little bit, once again, a little high. As he arrives at the cross, his shoulders were above the rings, which is a no-no there. Very interesting swing to handstand there. Another one. Let's see if he can be patient on this landing. He knows he needs to work on his sticking. He tells me that. But it's basically the same landing almost every single time.
Shoulders seemed a little bit too far back on that, possibly over-rotating that dismount a bit.
But for Sam Mikulik, he just extended his lead. 5.7 is the lead right now. It would be his largest margin of victory in the current system of points, on his way to a 6th title. I'd like to remind you, Simone Biles and the world's best gymnast will be in Germany to continue their journey towards next summer's 2020 Tokyo Olympics. The FIG Gymnastics World Championships coming your way October 8th on NBC, NBCSN, and the Olympic Channel. That man, looking forward to that. It's extended the lead now. It's 5.7 points over Shane Wiskus and Yul Moldauer, who drops from 2nd to 3rd. But in many ways, Mikulik looking for some history of his own tonight, because you see the largest margin of victory under the system, 4.75 last year, and well beyond that right now.
Absolutely, and the only way he doesn't win and probably stay at that mark is if he tears a bicep on rings.
Don't paint that picture, but okay, Sam would move beyond Blaine Wilson as well. In the modern era, you had a couple before that, different system, different governance, governing bodies, but he'd move to 6 all by himself in the modern era.
He did, but my friend Blaine Wilson would be upset with me if I did not mention that he has 5 in a row. So Blaine, I gotcha.
Well done. So Sam getting ready for that last rotation with a commanding lead, just playing to the audience, showing off here in Kansas City. So do you see a similarity? Look at the years for the national championships.
Just a little bit. It's like they're in sync.
I know, right? Reagan Smith, Yul Moldauer in 2017 without Biles, and Mikulik in the all-around at nationals. And we'll see Simone Biles go after number 6 Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, NBC. And down to that final rotation for Sam Mikulik. And this man right now, and really the race is for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Those positions, they're all within a half a point right now.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Shane has great abilities on pommel horse, but when he was a little younger, he would struggle so badly with nerves on this event. To handicap this for you, though, he scored a 13.45 day 1. Yul scored a 14.3 day 1 on floor exercise. Just really wants to stay clean, stay exactly in the moment. Don't let his thoughts wander. He's very good on pommel horse. Just sometimes can let his brain get in the way. Right to the handstand. Oh, a little hesitation, but that's not bad. Really good. Wow, what a championships for Shane Wiskus.
Rising junior at the University of Minnesota and a rising star at this level.
He's going to go back and listen to the commentary and said, Tim, those mistakes were in my past. I got pommel horse now. Glad to see that.
Doing everything he can to hang on to that 2nd spot right behind this man. Sam Mikulik down to the final rotation. And just trying to go out with glory.
And really just be better than himself. That's really what he has been trying to do here. It is a competition to be better than he has ever been. Take this preparation to the World Championships in a few months.
He's capable of doing an upgrade here from what he did day 1. We'll know early on if he does. So 2 seconds, 1 1,000, 2 1,000. There was the upgrade right there. That bounce cross he did, just a lowered across. board straight on that. I love his planche. He just bends his elbows just a little bit, arriving in the planche. Back up rise to cross. Good, but he kind of had a little decay through that cross. Didn't really stop dead. Typically a very good gymnast in the air. Can stick this double-double like nothing. Just like that.
There you go, 6 national titles for Sam McCulloch.
Hello, number 6.
There are more to go, but that is an absolute fact. Sam McCulloch.
And a sigh of relief for Tim Daggett, no injury.
And I'll tell you what, for Sam to go 12 for 12 at a national championships, I don't think he's won 6 right now, but I'm pretty sure that at every other national championships that he won, he has aired on at least one event. So this is a very big accomplishment for him. So very nice first strength part. And that is the upgrade right there. 1/1002, that was okay. This one also very nice, but as he swings into that cross, and does he completely stop moving? He does not. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this, but it's not going to jeopardize anything, especially when you can do that. I tell you what, he's going 6, but I'm telling you, in his brain, he's thinking, I went 12 routines without an error.
And Nastia, you and I talk about this. Athletes say that, gymnasts say that, oh, I just want to go 12 for 12. He just did it.
He just did it.
Come on, kid.
He now leads by more than 6.5 points. What a margin. What a performance.
Let's go now. Come on now. Let's go, AD. Perfection. Show everything off. Let's go. Let's go, kids.
And, you know, you may think that this is false, you know, that Sam isn't cheering for Yule or anybody else on the floor. The one thing about gymnastics is there's no defense. And so it kind of bodes well. Boy.
Lower than you thought?
Yes, it actually is lower than I thought. He scored a, wow.
He goes into second place, though, behind Sam McCulloch. And you've got Akash Modi still to come on vault. Yul Moldauer needs better than 13.7 to capture second place. And he is just about set on floor.
14.3 he did day 1. And he's also a world medalist, 2017 bronze on floor exercise.
So they're delayed a bit on floor. He's got to wait. That's got to be tough. So we'll take you over to vault. And this is very much right in the thick of things for Akash Modi. Needs 13.85 to make that jump up into second ahead of Wiskus.
And that's very doable here. Just got to put this to his feet. Has a maximum starting score of 15.2. Oh! And the veteran says, Shane, you got to wait your turn, man.
Nice. There we go. That's a good finish. The stick train.
I tell you what, that is so hard to stick.
So we'll see the number in a moment. Over the floor, they're just about ready now. Moldauer set.
You know, night 1 of the competition didn't have his best performance on floor. Every single landing, little hops here and there, and he said, I can't blame it on anyone but myself.
2.5 twists here. Really small adjustment. And there you go. That was a stick. He did not stick that day 1 or this pass, which he can usually rock. Gorgeous. Really good flares. This is the element that he injured his elbow on at the NCAAs, fell on that simple element. Not simple, but simple for Ewell. Another great landing right there. He's got 2 more left. A double full right here. And basically, if he stays on his feet, I would say 2 years in a row for Ewell. Second place. Could have been a little bit more spectacular at the end, but got a 14-3, night 1, and this was better.
What a competition for second place here, though, with Wiskus and what he did, and coming up big for him on pommel, despite the number maybe a little bit lower than he needed. And then Modi, 14.5, so that takes him into second place as we wait now for the number for Moldau.
And I could have spoken too soon because that number is a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. And so Ewell actually needs
14.35 for second. There you go.
Let's go, Win!
What do you think? What's your best guess?
I'm thinking he gets it because, you know, 14-3 night 1, and he was hopping all over the place. This was a little bit cleaner. Yes, he had the hop at the end, but my bet is that this world medalist on floor has got enough.
What's this like? It's out of your hands now.
It's out of your hands, but to me, this is like even more difficult than the actual competing because it is out of your hands. You know you've done just about everything you could. He's probably actually going back to that dismount and thinking, I wish I could have put a little bit more into that, landing, had it be a stick. Every single 10th of a point counts.
This is interesting because this score right here is taking quite a while to come up with.
Remember that number, 14.35 is what he needs. 14.7, he's got it, into second place. So Moldauer into second for the second straight year.
Yeah, he got it, he deserved it. He's great on floor.
And Akash Modi ends, yep, number 3, thank you. You're doing our job all night, for 2 nights you did.
I know. This is a big day for Akash as well.
So thanks again for these awesome uniforms. You always make us look great.
But that man, Sam Mikulik, with a lead of 5.55. And the largest margin of victory under this system. So you wrap it up with another Sooner. Alan Bauer, all-around bronze medalist last year at the National Championships.
Did not have a very good day 1. Says he's a little bit sick, has a head cold, but didn't blame that at all. He has been so close so many times to making a world team.
7th place heading into this rotation.
Had only a 13.3 on this event. First day of competition. That right there, almost a compulsory pass. Everybody does that. Last pass. This is an upgrade for Allen. For years, he dismounted with a 2.5, adds a half for the triple full. Oh boy, and I thought he had that. Just that one little step back.
And a man who could still figure in to the equation as you look ahead to the Olympics?
Oh, yes, he can. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why. Remember, the USA has weaknesses on high bar. He doesn't really help there. They also are a little weak on rings. That's not where he helps. But he is very good on pommel horse, and he's also very consistent. A 14.35 he scored both days here, and that's a good number. And, you know, that dreaded 7th place, you got to remember that they are locking in the top 6 in the all-around, make the national team. You get a lot of benefits when that happens.
It's a disappointing national championship for him, though. He was a bronze medalist last year.
No, without question, it is absolutely. The year before, he was second.
But how about what this man has accomplished now? It just keeps going. The consistency. Look, we take it for granted because he did come in as a big-time favorite, but to be able to keep it at a certain level year after year,
it is,
and stay healthy this year.
Absolutely, and that's really what he talked about coming into here. He said, I want to push the limit to get past the mentality that male gymnasts are done at 23 or 24, and he has proved that here this weekend.
So Donnell Wittenberg on still rings. The last of the night.
So remember, when I was just speaking, I said about Alan Bauer, he potentially helps the USA on a slightly weak event, pommel horse. Well, with these muscles, Donnell Wittenberg helps tremendously on rings. That was perfect right there. Judges, put your pencils down. Just so physically incredibly strong. Swing to a handstand. Got to freeze that position for 2 seconds and then push up to planche. Nicely done. I'll tell you what, though, that first part before he pushed up to the planche, I don't know. I don't think that was 2 full seconds. That one definitely rock solid. Hardest dismount being done today in the U.S. Double twisting, double layout. A hop back, but a big routine for Donnell Wittenberg.
9th heading into that rotation, hopefully physically okay right now. He's been coming back from injury, but looking to make a statement of his own towards the Olympics this week. Yeah, he didn't kind of jar that back. All right, there's the man, 6-time champ, Sam McCulloch. Wins once again. What a race we had for 2nd and 3rd, but this guy better than anybody again. Come back, get a word with a 6-time champ here in Kansas City in a moment. The Team USA Champion Series is brought to you by Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA. Get the speed, coverage, and control you need with Xfinity X5. By Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. And by Team USA Fund, every donation matters. Show your support for Team USA. Visit teamusafund.org to make a gift today. So, quite a night here in Kansas City. Sam McCulloch, there's the margin of victory, 5.55. And what a race for 2nd and 3rd. Moldauer on floor, able to get ahead of Akash Modi with that last vault. And Shane Wiskus on pommel. Great week for him.
Absolutely a huge victory.
But the largest margin of victory, there it is. We said it last year, but we say it again. He just keeps increasing that, guys.
Dare I say it? That's like Simone Biles-ish difference.
We'll see what she will bring Sunday night here in Kansas City. Yep, and he passes Blaine Wilson. So, fine. There's our man, John Roethlisberger. Still with 4, but Sam McCulloch now with 6, and he's with Andrea.
Well, Terry, after day 1, Sam vowed not to coast to this championship. 6 national titles. What will separate this one from all the others? What will you remember most?
Shoot, I'm just hoping I can get to another one. I think that's what it is, just looking forward to another good year. But I think this one I'm always going to remember, just throwing all my upgrades in and really setting the tone for next year and all the difficult routines I want to perfect over the next year.
12 for 12 at nationals. Not sure we've seen that, at least not for a while. How huge is that for you as you look ahead to Worlds?
Actually, that probably should have been what I'll remember most.
I can answer your questions for you.
Even better than I am. No, that honestly is, it's just shows that I'm getting to be a lot more comfortable out in this pressure situation. So many factors that go into competing in this stage that I've learned over the years, and you can't just pick it up. You've got to fail a bunch of times and learn from all those failures. And I'm blessed that I'm able to get into that comfort zone now.
You have told us that Worlds last year were a little bit bittersweet. You did break through and win a medal, but you were so close in so many events to the podium. Based on how you competed here, how do you like your chances in October?
I think this was exactly the competition I needed going into Worlds. You know, I was bittersweet after Worlds last year, and it really lit a fire in me to really get on that medal podium. And so I've done everything up to plan. Everything's where I want it to be. I still got a couple months of perfection work on these difficult routines, but if I keep doing if I keep on this trajectory, things are looking good.
All right, congratulations on number 6.
Thank you very much.
Terry?
All right, Andrea, what's your takeaway? We got his. How about yours?
Well, you know what Sam has told us himself. I'm not going to change anybody's opinion of me with what I do in the United States. I've got to be able to do it on the international stage. I would say that he is ready.
Still impressive.
Absolutely, and I think what Andrea said, what he said, the 12 for 12, the consistency that he had here this weekend was something we will take away moving forward.
Sam and the guys are done. We are not, though. You got Simone Biles, the rest of the women returning Sunday night, the conclusion of the women's competition, 8 o'clock Eastern time on NBC. Terrific night here in Kansas City. Nastia Luke and Tim Daggett, Andrea Joyce, and our entire NBC Sports crew. I'm Terry Gannon saying so long now from the National Championship.